Progress.
All right, ready to go.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and just pledge allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Councilmember Didrik.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Here.
Councilmember Sherburne.
Here.
Councilmember Gray.
First thing we need is an approval for the agenda. Tim, is there any changes or does anyone have any changes?
I don't have any changes to the agenda.
I need a motion on this.
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Okay, the next thing we have is time for our public input. Please state your name and address for the record. Stand at the podium. Before proceeding with your comments, individual remarks are limited to 5 minutes, with the overall public input period limited to 30 minutes. Under Iowa Open Meetings Law, the City Council can take no formal action on comments given during the public input period, which do not relate to action items on the agenda. Does anyone want to speak to the council? Seeing no one rushing to the podium, we will close the public hearing. Let's go on to the consent agenda. First thing we have listed in the consent agenda is we need to approve the minutes for the February 10th regular city council meeting and the February 17th city council work session. Second thing that we have is approval for the bills. The next thing is acknowledgement of city reports and minutes. We have several reports that were handed in. One from the library board, one from the water department. It's their annual report. The annual report from the building department, annual report from the aquatic center, annual report from the wastewater department, and planning and zoning minutes. And for those of you on tape, let me just suggest that you spend some time looking at these reports. They really show the city in a good light. It's wonderful to be able to read what our people are doing in the city. The next thing we have is a liquor license application, and that is for Walmart. The next one is to approve property tax abatement applications submitted by property owners. And this is actually for Western these. So Tim, you want to explain how?
Sure.
you do these?
They have either done improvements or built a new house. And so they are eligible under our urban revitalization plan to apply for a 5-year tax abatement for residential. It's a tax abatement on $75,000 of value. It's 100% abatement on that first $75,000 of increased value for a period of 5 years. Commercial is a 10-year sliding scale.
And the change in value is determined by the Delaware County assessor, not by the city. So I will turn in these sheets when the council approves it, and the assessor will evaluate the properties to determine the valuations.
The next thing we have is a resolution approving the preliminary and final plat for the Radabron, subdivision. And this has been before the Planning and Zoning Commission, and they have reviewed it and agreed to its approval. So they're suggesting the also approve. The next thing we have is a resolution authorizing the approval of a loan agreement providing for the issuance of $670,000 general obligation corporate purpose bonds and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same. This was done at our last meeting, basically, so this is just the resolution now. And the last thing we have in our consent agenda is a resolution authorizing and approving the loan agreement, providing for the issue of $670,000 taxable general obligation. The other one is
Tax exempt.
tax exempt, thank you, and this one's taxable. That's why we have two different ones. So those are the items in the consent agenda. If I can have a motion and a second, and then we can take time to discuss them.
I'll make a motion to accept the
Second one?
Thank you, Bill.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Joe. So let's take a couple minutes. Any questions, any comments that anyone would like to make?
So just for clarity on item 3.5, we have to, but we. Then the assessor will go out and verify that is at least 75,000,
Yes,
and then
well, up to 75,000.
275.
So if they did an addition and it added $30,000 of improvements, that 30,000 is what's eligible. If they did an addition with 100,000 increased value, only 75,000. So that'd be the cap.
And it's got to be a project that's did not.
No, it can be in different phases too. So
It's just the deadline is February 1st and then, because we can only submit them to the assessor once a year. And I have to do that by March 1st. So I take applications all year long and then we gather them together and put them on a resolution for a February meeting of the city council. And then it won't show up on their taxes until next January. So there's quite a lag time, but next January's valuations is when the abatement would show.
correct.
Any other questions or comments? Bill,
Yes.
Joe?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Okay, we have no items that have been removed. We have no public hearings, so we're ready to go to regular agenda items. First one that we have is cars and coffee. And this is basically just an informational course.
Austin is here
I'm
to,
assuming, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming you're Austin, so come on up, Austin, and speak to us.
Good.
Good.
Okay, so I'm gonna be starting Austin Timberland 2364 Artisan coffee in Manchester. I see a lot of communities that are doing, a lot of towns are doing it. Dubuque's got one, they did one all last year. Seems like it went over really well. Cedar Rapids is starting their first one this year, so it's getting more and more popular, it seems like. So I'm looking at when will be the last Saturday of the month, possibly start April for the first one. Hours would be 8 to 11 in the morning. Probably gonna do Saturdays, just like I talked to the city of Manchester. Bringing people into town, obviously, then they can see the businesses that are open, and we got the farmers market going on, so it might just kind of interact with each other better. People are already downtown, so Saturday is gonna be my majority for the vote for that. Where downtown, the Whitewater Park location, across from Scooters and some, or just that parking area there. That would be perfect. That way, when people are coming down the bridge or whatever way down, they can see it, they can realize something else is going on. It's gonna be open to everybody, cars, bikes. Doesn't have to be fancy. If you're just a car enthusiast, that's what I want there. Free coffee and water will be supplied, probably by me for the first couple times, so we can go and get a Facebook event basically for it, probably within the next few days. I've talked to a couple of clubs. I'm part of the Central Iowa. They're talked about breaking the crew down because it's 37 counties is from Central Iowa, and like they're pretty big. Cedar Falls, talked to them, they're interested in coming up, bringing their car. Also, since Dubuque's is on Sundays, so ours being Saturday, they'll be able to. Yeah, and then also the fellows at like Peter Garage, they volunteered to help me out with it, and then talked about bringing like the Wyatt Warrior trailer down to set up, just like kind of display something like that. To support their cause, so. I get for it. And about it, otherwise I'm gonna go. See how it goes and hopefully bring some of that stuff back to the area that kind of got lost, I think, with the cars and stuff like that. Big car show and more and things like that.
Any questions?
Any questions for me that I can maybe write down?
So if you're anticipating a fair number, you're gonna be at the Whitewater Park. So displaying the cars in the Whitewater Park area, or
Yeah, how many spots is that?
That's-
I know we talked with Doug about it. Austin wasn't and spoke with Doug Foley. I don't know if there, do you know,
I want to say there's
I mean,
30.
guessing.
at least 30 something?
Yeah.
I mean, if it does get bigger than that, awesome, that would be great. Maybe move them back to like behind the,
Has there
No,
been
I
any
don't want
conversations
to-
with Stevens?
no, but that was my next thing.
And maybe partnering with
Maybe the
them?
Parking lot.
Yeah.
next there, like.
It'd be a good way for them to partner. To me, I think that would make sense if they might want to bring in some vehicles and,
Move their cars over. to
Just a
the
little bit.
side.
It does not have a lot on the lot right now. We're
well, they've got
mentioning
some,
that today, and so
Yeah.
it might be an easy way for them to move them, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
like they've got thousands
Yeah, that's what I mean,
cars
like, we
sitting
can
down
move like the 5 cars that are
Yeah.
there. You know, I'll talk to Kyle, probably
Okay.
down there and Stevens about it, so, just don't want people cross the street, like to go to, like, you know, like I said, I'll have free coffee there and water, but if they wanna go to Emmy's, I don't know if people walk up the street.
Yeah, you can actually.
Okay, I just don't want people walking across the street, that's my biggest fear.
creating a hazard there.
Keep it to one side, you know, I don't wanna have to worry about that. And then maybe trying to have some like just random games for some kids, it's a family thing, so.
Yeah, that, and I was gonna say, make sure that we don't have the, kids trying to run across the
That's-
street.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be the big one. That's a very busy
Busy area.
area.
And I did talk to one officer. Cause a lot of them, they do have a police presence there, just to keep people from obviously, things, revving up their exhaust or peeling out of there, things like that. So having that police presence there will help with keeping that thing, it's that kind of stuff down, so a little more respectful to the area. It seems like all the events that we looked at.
Yeah, I hope it goes over well.
Now, nobody can do something.
You're planning on doing that in the new Whitewater Park itself? Not like behind the,
Not buying Mexican this time.
no. you're
No,
talking about
out front, yeah.
Actually, where
Right,
you have
that's
bathrooms
where
and
my
stuff.
dad used to
Yeah.
park the food truck.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
That, like, I think people would see it. Be a great spot for it, coming through town on a Saturday, maybe they'd stop, or maybe they'd see it remembered and
Right.
stop, so.
And with it being in the morning too, Doug thought it was a good time,
Mhm.
from 8 to 11.
Yeah, and that's still good, like I said, that still gives people. Walk up town, but, realize there's some other things to do here, like I said, run up today and we can get a certain coffee or. See what we have locally. And the farmers. That'll be good for all that traffic, so maybe the people, perfect from the people at the farmers market to park there, walk around the bridge. Under the bridge and around to it, that way they don't have to get in their car and try to find a spot over here, so. That might even be a possibility of maybe public parking more over in the farmers market area, and walking the trail to the cars and coffee event, instead of trying to park somewhere and stuff.
Does the city have any signage over at Jason's shop that would be slow down, you know what I'm saying, just anything like that?
You mean beside the speed limit signs that we place?
Something in progress.
Yeah, that was the only thing I didn't know we had anything over there.
We don't have anything additionally that would be enforceable. I mean, it's just, again, reminder, I think congestion helps quite a bit. Yeah.
Just like maybe the top of the bridge.
Well, the channel we run into, that's Highway 13, and so that would require DOT approval as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They have a temporary sign of slow down.
So,
I think it's a great idea, Austin. Takes a lot of work to put stuff like this together, so I appreciate people.
Yeah, and little things like that. I mean, the rod show down in Monty last weekend was huge. I mean, the restaurants were full, at 2:00 is like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, I could eventually like to see if we had some like mobile company, you know, that come set up and they could just get everything there opposed to having to try to walk downtown and go across the road. But we don't really have too many. Unfortunately, Manchester coffee stations, so.
Austin, so you've identified the dates as the last Saturday of the month, starting in March, going through. The reason I'm asking is the council needs to authorize or approve closing that parking lot down for this event. So that we have some coverage on that.
So you want to start in April. So-
March is what he listed.
Possibly March, see what the weather's gonna be. Like, that's the biggest thing, is what weather's gonna do in the next month.
What I'd like to do is have that firmed up, so council meeting on March 10th. You can approve the schedule. Probably September, October, the end of October's.
Yeah, pushing it to October.
Yeah.
March through September, last Saturday. one.
You know, just shoot me a message with the dates or when you kind of get that figured out,
Okay.
just let me know. And we can,
And we talked, it won't interact with like the.
River
Like
days.
the River Day things, the
Mhm.
crops, like the trial deals.
Yeah.
Out of that. The Friday that, or the,
Thursday night.
no, the Friday show and check.
Yep.
That'll be fine, but that's usually Fridays.
Earlier in the month too. It's not the end of the month.
Are we allowed to, or can I make a motion to approve the last Saturday of March? As, and be able to operate that first time?
Next meeting, don't you?
Yeah, we've got time.
Well, I feel like not bringing that up.
for advertising.
Advertising.
Yeah, we have action and discussion on the agenda, so you council can take action.
Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to allow you to. Oh, okay, just last Saturday of every month from March to September.
Well, what are you doing?
Yeah, at your given hours that you have 8 to 11.
Eight to 11.
Okay, I have a motion. Oh,
I'll second.
any discussion? I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Joe,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Linda? Yes. Bill?
Yes.
And I also vote yes.
Awesome.
Good luck. Okay, the next thing we have is a review of the dog park rules. This have changed very little from. Talked to Doug about it, and I believe, correctly, what he said. The only thing that he changed is that the park will be open year round. Snow and ice will not be removed inside the park and or terminus during the winter months. He told me that what he has found from other places that he has talked to, that basically what they do is to buy a cheap shovel and put it inside and say, if you want to use it, but we're. That way, people want to shovel through for a spot for the dog, that's fine. Personally, I've got dogs like snow, so.
It's for the gate,
Probably.
so you open the gate up, so.
Anyway, I think that was about the only thing that could change.
Are there, if there's questions on what's there, or if there's something you want added into it, let us know. Otherwise, these are the rules that we're looking to adopt and put them up. And again, these aren't carved in stone. The sign maker will make vinyl, right? So we can change the
Yeah.
signs if we need to.
Registration, because we can't do that.
Well, we can. It hasn't been adopted
It
yet.
hasn't been adopted, but
That's the thing.
it could be, right?
It
Yeah.
could be.
I think we'll
And
still
then-
require him to register, it's just whether we can charge a fee or not. Will be the.
And so we are still looking to do it with the QR code so they can do it online right down there.
Like on a, on a Google sheet, we get the report on it, so.
Any motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the dog park rule.
Further discussion? Bill?
Yes.
Linda? Yes. Brian?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. And the next thing we have also deals with the dog park. This is the amenities for the dog park. And basically what they are asking is that they have the money they would like to put in two, I believe it is,
Yes,
if I remember correctly, yeah, two fountains, and these would be for the dogs, not for people.
Right.
correct. One will be in the small dog park side of the fence, the other will be in the large dog park side of the fence. They'd like to get those ordered so they can get them here before we start pouring some cement for the pads for the shelter, shade structure, or whatever we would call it, and then for the fountains themselves. And there was a little stretch of sidewalk they wanted to get in before the fence went in. So it's now just timing of getting things ordered and moving forward.
I had a question about fountains. Do these dogs all share the same bowl that's on the fountain?
Yes.
Does that spread disease? I'm not a veterinarian.
UV rays take care of a lot of stuff.
What is you?
And the fountain bowls are stainless steel, so they are better for that too. So, and
I would
people,
guess some owners can bring their own.
yeah, if they
A
so,
lot of them have their own little collapsible bowls. I know my mom does.
Just some clarity on the aspect of the money thing. So they have their money
Mhm.
and they're asking for approval to put the phone.
Purchase them because the city of Manchester is who will be purchasing them. So they'll come through build through the city of Manchester and they'll
And then
pay
yeah,
us
then
back.
we invoice them back for the funding out of their foundation account.
Just wanted some clarity on that. Just
Yeah.
Get back ideas. And they don't have money to design.
Had they checked into just a regular spigot that you put a hose on? I mean, that would be maybe a lot less expensive, but their money.
Yeah. It's a little bit better design, so it shuts off automatically, so they just can't leave it on. You know, it's for the dogs and there's a hose bib on the side of it that we can tie onto it and they can use that to water the grass out there if they need to do stuff like that, but
Pretty proud of them.
yeah,
That's what I was thinking too.
if we wanted one for humans, it was $6,000 a
I
piece.
see that.
Yeah,
I told, I advised Doug to check with Don and Walt because I know we had worked with them in Delaware on a similar fountain and were able to get it a little bit of savings
Yeah,
that way.
He makes some great stuff out there.
So
Yeah.
Doug was gonna see about
Mhm.
a quote from them. So this would be the max.
Make motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Brian,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
And also vote yes. Next thing we have is the agreement with the chauffeurs, teamsters and helpers local union 238, which is basically our voice. So, Jim,
basically, this is the agreement that we talked about at the last meeting where we thought we had things firmed up. They approved what we had identified. That was a 3% across the board increase for the staff. We increased comp time that they could obtain up to 60 hours of comp time. But once we hit May, they had to either burn up or pay out anything above 40 hours. So that way at the end of the fiscal year, they didn't have more than 40 hours of comp time built in. We did open up a little bit more on what family sick leave, instead of being capped at 24 hours of sick time being used towards family sick leave, they can use sick time to take care of an immediate family member that is ill. And then we did change reorganize the scheduling of the time for the vacation as well. We didn't increase the timeline or the amount of vacation they can get. We just shifted when that comes into effect.
I think it's also a good deal. It's 2 years. So
Correct.
with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
I'll second it.
Other comments? Vincent, it's your department. Did you want to say anything?
No, it's as it stands.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Bill?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. The resolution approving the Iowa Department of Transportation Federal Aid Agreement for a city highway bridge program project with West Marion Street Bridge Project. Tim,
The DOT has sent us the contract for the West Marion Street Bridge. We now have to authorize the mayor to sign said agreement. So this is what resolution 23 does, is authorize the mayor to execute the agreement for the West Marion Street Bridge project.
I know when we doing it.
2 to 3 years. It'll take a minimum of a year for us to actually get the plans put together. One of the things I am working on, I need to finalize, is a request for qualifications to do the work for engineering, to build the design plans and stuff like that. Paragram has worked with us and have done quite a bit with this project, but because it is federal money, we are required to go out for engineering qualification, qualified engineers. So we'll put together a RFQ, bring the engineers, we'll interview a couple of them, and the council will make a determination. We'll have to have a scorecard as to scoring the engineers. Funding, or excuse me, price is not a criteria that we can use
For the engineers.
for the engineers. So it's based on their qualifications, and then after we select the engineering firm, then we can negotiate contract. So there's a little bit of a process. This is kind of what we've gone through with the airport too.
And on the federal funding, the highway bridge funding, we have, is it 3 years to spend that?
Correct. Provided. Again, it's DOT funding, so I'm assuming it's secured because that's used with road use tax, but right now there's some uncertainty on things.
So just basically to move forward with
Having
having
mayor-
the mayor sign.
Mayor and city clerk, yep.
I'll have a motion to accept.
second that. Any other discussion? Brian,
Yes.
Linda, yes. Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Okay, the next thing we're going to ask to approve from the Infrastructure Technology Solution. $1,178.59 for security cameras and door access control systems. And we had talked about this before, but is there anything you would like to say about this?
Just that they met with Jason down looking at the city shop and out at the airport. And we'll probably come back to you with a couple other additional camera locations. I don't have those final numbers yet, but before those places are added, council will approve it or
And that-
review it.
And that would be just adding the cameras. 'Cause
Correct.
That
Right,
is
everything
part
on
of
this
the
fall.
package.
Yep.
We only pay for whatever.
Correct.
So.
I motion to approve.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
We barely covered previous meeting, what all this is.
That's correct. We've had 2 or 3 meetings now that we're,
I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that.
Yeah.
Anybody that didn't know what was going
Yeah,
on, we've already covered.
we talked about this in a previous council meeting and a budget work session.
Yes, Bill?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Brian?
Yeah.
And I also vote yes. Okay, the last thing in our regular agenda items is a resolution approving the airport hangar lease. Tim?
So the hangar that was donated to the city of Manchester on the east side of the airport, I do have a tenant that is interested in coming in and renting that. She does have a plane to play base there, and what their hopes are is they'd like to start up a flight school out at the Manchester Municipal Airport. She and her husband are both certified flight instructors and can start offering courses. So they were relocating from Marion. That's where their plane was previously. So we are looking at $100 per month for rental of the hangar. We were getting $500 a year when Georgians owned it. So this will be an increase of $700. The hangar is not great. And we're not investing a whole lot of money into it because we do want to relocate all the hangars to the west side at some point when we get a chance to do so. But right now, this is a great opportunity for us to get another plane into our airport, be based here. And then we have a young couple that does flying and can do flight instruction.
So this will be an actual and
Correct.
registered
Registered plane.
plane for
And the lease requires that.
This lease. Rewritten from the last previous leases we had.
Yeah, this was a combination Laura put together because this is the first hangar we've owned.
Right.
All the other hangars, we just leased the land. So Laura worked on a couple different hangar leases that she's seen, so we modified that. I did have Jim look
Yeah,
at it.
it's the basic lease we've had, only just. She did what you'd have paid me to do, was just combine the language to make it for us. And she did a nice job.
I just wanted to make, I'm
Yep.
trying to read through it real fast, cause it looked. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure that in the previous leases that we have out at the airport, they're not allowed to run business.
Yeah. We'll have to work with her on operating the business out of there. But right now, my concern is we're leasing the hangar. Yep.
How many number of planes are at the airport now?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't think anything's changed.
So it's, like you said, we're gonna work on, is it in the language right now? They can't run a plane business. I think one of them
They have to have authorization or approval through the city.
from the city to, okay.
I think one of the things, if they can't do a mechanic, meaning they can't
Right.
pull a car in there and
The big thing, we didn't want
fix
non-air,
bolts and.
we didn't want non-airport businesses run at the airport. That's the main thing.
But that kind of overlapped into also running a business
Yeah.
as a full.
Without permission, right?
Without authorization, yep.
Okay, so we need a motion,
I'll make a motion to adopt.
second,
I'll second it.
and any other discussion?
I just want to say real quick before we go on it. I was hoping that the monthly charge was gonna be a little bit higher.
If there was any more value to the hangar, condition of the hangar, it's rough shape.
And it's a start.
Mhm. And again, we more than doubled what we received off that hangar last year.
So will we fix that hangar up some, or are they part of that, or who takes care of it?
We did the minimums. The door wasn't securing, so we were able to get the doors so they would secure.
I think Jason said a roller on one of the. Two wasn't.
Yeah, we just,
It's not-
we didn't put it in great shape. We're trying to minimize the number of birds that can fly in and out of there. But it's not, we're not spending a lot of money on it.
And then the city did the city, is that incorporated into our insurance?
Yes.
Insurance covers.
Yeah, they have their own insurance for stuff there, and
I
then
was gonna
we
say,
have our
right,
own
okay.
insurance on it as well.
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Joe?
Yes,
And I vote yes.
welcome to Manchester.
Yeah, he's a commercial pilot. They live in Centralia. And she was an FBO at a smaller airport,
He is, he'll be flying for American.
Delta.
Delta.
Delta, that's.
So
Move on to engineering update. Sam, you're your first.
Not much, just East Main, a while ago, DOT sent us some comments on the audit. And we have addressed their comments and sent back, so we're just gonna wait to hear back from them again, so we'll probably follow up with them shortly, and then the only thing that's left is final payment. So city's ready to set up the project, but let's go through the audit process, see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted, quantities, anything that's not correct, anything spec, and then you can adjust that and deduct anything from retained as needed, if needed. With that final payment, so I believe right now, out there, it should be $30,000, is all that's out there for a week.
Can you elaborate a little bit on, discuss, are they going to go through the audit now? right?
They did,
Oh,
the DOT did the audit, so basically it's reviewing all the different documents that we have to do, all the different checks for, slump air for concrete, for instance, depth checks for thicknesses. And then just going through all of our quantity daily diaries, making sure everything up to snuff, just to make sure that everything is in line so the city can receive their funds from the DOT. So that's all been done. We've sent back to them. We just gotta make sure that they're okay to look at everything once more, just to make sure that everything is up to snuff, and then we'll do that. We'll submit the
Just final checklist, okay.
Project that we could last on.
correct.
Yeah.
East Main.
Well, I just put For the
Bailey
first
Drive.
phase and the second phase, and then we're gonna do an overlay just for clarity.
Yes, from just the west side of Bailey Drive to the west side of South Street, yeah.
Thanks.
Really not a whole lot new going on from my standpoint. They're still going through the process with DOT and Ames on the trail for some upfront concept statement approvals and getting some descriptions to match up with the RPA, what they have in the transportation, their 5-year plan, the T-STIP versus what they're in Ames. We're just trying to finalize a couple of things there. As far as I know, there's been no change in status as far as the awarded funds for that project, and we're still on the target, to bid that in December, January for construction on calendar 26.
I have a question. What trail are you talking?
We are talking about the Grand Avenue up on the west side of Grand. Sorry, I should clarify that.
Thank you.
We got
So-
you both you guys pretty busy, so.
No, that's okay. It's actually this time of year, but this year it's kind of nice to be able to take a breath compared to the last couple of years a little bit. City's been doing a lot, and so looking to plan for the future. So any other questions that you have of me?
Thomas Ford is completely finished, in fact.
Correct. I think they've been erecting some panels on the building out there. I'm sure. Yeah, that's all outside of the city right of way, outside of the scope of the city project. Probably better information on the status of that project from the building standpoint. So I can.
Seen them out.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Jim.
Yeah, you'd update you on some nuisance things next meeting, but hope to see RJ today because he was just coming back from court on one of our abatement cases when I came, so I haven't heard. We should at least be keeping moving on them. That's one good thing. One thing I would note, I got to see the Delaware County thing on Iowa Travel on public TV this week. Very nicely done. Doug did a nice job showing off here. No idea that was even being done. I thought they did a nice, it made the city look very good. So I.
Reminder, tomorrow night, there is a free seminar on 10 effective habits or highly effective habits of highly effective councils being put on down at the DSAT office starting at 5:30. I know Linda and I are both signed up to attend that. And then a week from tomorrow is the legislative day down at the Capitol for Iowa League of Cities. I will be attending that as well. Get a chance to get down there and find out what's going on and talk to our legislators. I know Friday, March 7th, 10 o'clock at Farm Bureau, they'll have legislative coffee. Over there, we'll have a couple legislators up here in town as well. So that would be another one if you're available to go over and listen to at 10 a.m. Farm Bureau. March 7th, Friday, March 7th. All right, and then we do have council meeting March 3rd. We'll go through our budget again. That's the date we really need to finalize. We can't exceed past what we have proposed as far as expenditures. We can always reduce back. Aaron has to get things over to Carla and upload it online by March 5th in order for the letters to go out to the property owners as far as what the property tax rates are going to be and the impact on taxes. So March 3rd will be the last Monday night that we'll have to have. Well, it would have been our work session anyway, but it should be the last budget work session.
And it'll be a special meeting and budget work session because we will set the public hearing date Monday night as well. So we'll just go right from our special meeting into the budget work session.
Nope, that's it.
Nothing.
You did your. Right.
No, I don't have nothing.
Linda?
Yeah, a couple things right now. Over by Farmers Union on East Main, there's that storm sewer that's painted yellow. I talked to several people this winter, they just drove right over that, because there's no signage, there used to be a pole there at one time.
Mhm.
And it could cause some big damage to your vehicle if you run off that, because it's. Well, and then it's cut out with the red thing, then again. You got storm sewer.
I think when it's snow covered.
Yeah, it was covered
is
snow, you
what
could
the
not see it.
problem is, the yellow's covered, so people think that's all open. And then they drive off it, so I don't know. Really.
Well, the challenge there is because we don't have restrictions on driveway widths. So the whole thing's a rollover curb, so we still have to have a place to put an intake.
Right.
And that's the challenge.
As before, there was that power pole there, which
Yeah,
times
it's-
of life, so we got the power pole
Power pole
moved and
moved.
wider
Yeah.
curb cut, so when they come off the scales and make it easier, but then, yeah, the full stand-up curb section of full curb isn't as wide as it was, and next day without the pole being there, it's what.
Then when the snow's covered in the yellow,
Yeah.
people think that's all open, you know, because it's open from the car wash all the way.
Yeah,
You know, except for that, so.
So there really isn't nothing we can do.
we could put a pole there, but I'm not sure that that's visually attractive.
Probably end up more people hitting that, but
Well, just go one side of the pole to the other, so.
I just don't know what an answer would be.
Cause I'm assuming they probably plow all that off and everything between the curb and sidewalk.
Simons does,
Yeah.
they plow that off, but it, you know, you get snow,
It just blends in.
it blends in and you can't see the yellow, so.
Could a guy put a traffic cone there for the winter time?
It's going, you can. But again, orange cone bounces around with the snowplow drive by with the snow flying at it.
Could you weight it down or something?
Well, I can talk to the street superintendent, see what some ideas he has.
Flag or something for the winter.
Yeah. If somebody would get their vehicle damaged, would the city be liable for that? Even,
We didn't tell him to drive off that location.
or if they can't see it?
Again, it's,
No?
I mean, if they hit the bridge, it's not our fault. I mean, you have to drive on the paved road.
Yeah.
No. Well, I think people are actually going over to,
Real deals.
Yeah. Again, driveways and managing the widths, you have directed traffic flows helps quite a bit when you have the whole thing's paved and a rollover curb. Traffic can go in and out wherever and they just don't necessarily see the hazards sometimes.
Definitely spill your coffee.
oh, yeah. I had one more thing on the, not the K-9 unit. We're looking at buying a new vehicle, but it seems like we're on the third engine on this unit. Mechanics say you're doing this thing because this engine to have to be replaced all the time. Don't they give them?
Is this the constant, is it the constant idling that really?
I don't know what the,
You said we were on the third engine.
well, it's, so you're technically on the second one is going out. So that is on warranty, as of now. And I don't know what caused the initial failure of the stock engine. I just know that the second one, and then the last time it was to get serviced, it's having the same issues that the original stock engine had. So I don't know if that's a or a year brand issue with that or something else.
Okay. I'm just curious, because you think I have to replace it. Could figure out maybe it was causing brown, but apparently not.
Idling any duration, it doesn't lubricate the engine. It doesn't throw the oil through as far. And some engines are designed to have splash. I know the Dodge Hemi is designed that way. If it has high mile or high idle time, there's a chance it takes out the lifters because the oil is not there. But we do run that engine on a regular basis because if the dog's in there, the car has to be heated or cooled, climate controlled in order for the dog to.
Can the dog be brought? I was gonna get out of the car for a while. Can't you bring that in? Maybe we need to get a kennel or something to sit in it or save the car.
Well, yeah, we discussed that you could bring the dog in, but I don't think you can. Yeah. Ace especially, he's personalized.
Yes, good dog.
Yeah. Again, based on Dave's. If probably what happened, if You know. Probably.
Thought about that after I had asked that in the last meeting.
Yep.
About bringing him in, but then I thought about, okay. Is it gonna hamper him when he has to go on a call and have the dog in the vehicle and ready to roll, or?
I mean, that's my, I'm not a handler, I mean, that'd probably be a better question, I'd probably do that too than Dave, you know.
I thought about that after I,
But a new dog, I mean, you know. So, program that we started, there's not really.
I know they're ready to roll.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Right.
So
Okay.
when you get older, that's probably when you're.
Thank you.
Just again, want to thank you, Austin, for, and whoever you got helping you do something like this to bring more traffic to the city, so.
No, I'll be out of commission for a couple days because my surgery on my arm and so. Yeah. You were there on my left hand again.
That's all I got. Okay, the only thing I had was I would like to congratulate the press on all of their awards that they won. For their journalism. I thought it was really a great thing to see. And so congratulations to them. Really got what they do for the city, so. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
But it's my first time hearing about the airport, like someone, I didn't know there was gonna be hangar out there.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
That's fine, that's
No,
fine.
that's okay. I'm gonna adjourn the meeting and then come on up and talk.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
let's do it that way, just because. Okay, so, I had a motion from Bill and a second from Joe and we are adjourned. Now, come on up.